How do you train your mind to heal your body? Well, it's actually very easy once you understand that your body and your whole physical being is the mathematical, spiritual reflection of the inner way that you define yourself. I mean, we need to talk about this because today I want to break down exactly how to train your mind to heal your body. Now, your mind is very powerful, but we forget it as a tool. Think about it. Your brain is literally running your body. Your subconscious mind is beating your heart right now. It's digesting your food. It's pumping your blood. It's doing all of these processes without you thinking. And we forget that we have this power over our subconscious mind by using the conscious pen. The conscious mind is the pen to rewrite on it the idea of who we are. But what we do is we tend to get taken in by life. Let's imagine you've gone to the doctors. You've come out and he says you're suffering with anxiety. Then we start to talk about it like this. I'm really anxious. I'm feeling anxious. I am anxious. Or he says you've got a digestive issue. I have this digestive issue. I have IBS. I have this. And we start to claim this thing that we have. Now, your body is giving you symptoms and issues to tell you about a much deeper thing going on inside of you emotionally and energetically. You see, it's long-held emotional trauma of some kind that's reflecting in a physical issue. But then we start to sort of claim and cling on to the issue itself. You see, I know this to be true because I had my own problems with chronic throat pain, digestive issues and all this. I mean, I couldn't eat my favourite foods. I couldn't not wake up and have pain every day in my throat. I was losing my hair. And here I am 12 years later with none of those things as a problem. So I really want to tell you that what it is that I started to become identified with the problem. The problem was now me. It wasn't something that I was experiencing. I had claimed it to be mine and I'd taken ownership of it and I almost sort of carried it as a wound. And I wanted to convince people to believe me of my problems. You see, I'm struggling to perform in this job that I have because I've got this digestive issue, because I've got this chronic throat pain. And I was at the height of my career playing Frankie Valli and Jersey Boys. And I wanted to convince my company manager, my general manager of the show, that I had this problem. So then they would believe me. And I had to own it. And it just started to get worse and worse and worse. But what it was just chronic, long-held stress in the body system. And it was chronic, terrible self-talk inside of myself. You see, when we start to talk like this and we start to train our brain to own these problems, we actually are now living in that chaos. We've owned it. So we have to change ourselves by rewiring the deeper belief of who we are as an identity, really. And you can only do that with repetition and expectancy. But you see, the thing is, what a lot of people try to do, they try to use and do this repetition on top of intense fears, and it can't change because you're constantly reacting to the issue in front of you, and it becomes more and more yours. It becomes more and more you. You see, the problems you're facing become more and more you every time you emotionally embrace them. So I ask people to stop emotionally embracing the issue. Now, that's easy to say, isn't it? But how do I do that? Well, firstly, you have to create a massive amount of awareness. You have to start to detach from these reactions and these emotions, and you have to start to be able to sit back and actually notice them for a while. You have to become aware of your patterns. You see, we're so drenched in the problem that we don't even realize our patterns. Now, I'm going to release another video in the coming days where I'm going to tell you how I failed myself towards the end of 2025 and how I'm going to change it in 2026. And it's because even I, who teach this every day, didn't realize that I was running off some trauma patterns from the past, and I was trying to almost like what am I saying? I had everything going perfect, and I almost kind of like want to ruin it from this part of me in the past. Like a deep part of me cannot live in such peace. So I'm dealing with that this year myself, and I'm going to tell you, if you do it yourself, I've been able to heal so many parts of my life, and I think this is the final piece before everything just becomes heaven on earth, in essence. So let's ask yourself, what are you suffering with? I'd like you to comment down below what you are suffering with, just so that you can start to become aware of how much you talk about it, how much you embrace it. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not like a lot of manifestation and healing coaches out there. I do not want you to ignore it and let all the emotions pile up. I actually want you to face it. See, the first step of awareness is to face that part of yourself, is to face the shadow. And that's how we can start to jump into a new identity. It's how I've been able to change my life from broke, sick, and losing everything to happy, joyful, and abundant and healthy. And you do it by just noticing those patterns of reactions and all of those things that trigger you. Okay, so first steps first is I didn't even realize really along the path that I was talking to myself like someone I actually hated. I mean, I'd be in the shower getting ready, testing my voice out, noticing the pain, making my lunch, which was just disgusting because I couldn't eat any food that I liked anymore. And I would berate myself down to a point like I thought I was a piece of, and we're going to beep this one out, a piece of, you know what I mean? We've got to beep that out. And that will be done in the edit, you know? And so I had to sort of let that happen. I had to notice that I really was almost like bullying myself. And I had to realize that I had owned the problem. I'd started to bully myself, and it was a constant barrage of subconscious programming that I am terrible and I deserve punishment and I'm not enough. So by noticing that, by becoming aware, I was able to start to notice these patterns that had gone amiss that I hadn't even realized. So I ask you, if you are looking to heal yourself, the first step of training your mind is to start to become aware of those reactions. Now, what do you do once you're aware of them? Now, they're going to come up heavy. They're going to make you want to take action. They're going to make you want to scream at yourself, shout at yourself, do something, push away, whatever it is, okay? But what you're going to do instead is you're going to start to relax your body. You're going to start to sit back from it all and realize that this isn't you, it's something you're experiencing. So if you can do that with your symptoms, you do it with your emotions, and you do it with everything else. You see the presence behind it all is your awareness. And that awareness now is awake. Now you become awakened. That's why we call it awakening. Now I'm awake to these unknown programs. So now you can start to sit with your body and work with it on an intentional level, that you start to detach back and notice these energetic patterns, and you don't act from them anymore. Now you just start to let them be in the body as they want to be. But just like your body knows how to get rid of waste food, waste water, it knows how to get rid of waste energy too. So you start to sit back in a relaxed state with an intriguingness, you know, like a childlike intrigue about what this is going to be, and you just start to let it be. So from there, we start to relax. You're going to notice the energy want to move around the body, and you're going to start to find your body relaxes and goes to a peaceful state. Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy would call it the state akin to sleep. Now, in that moment, if you start to add in affirmations and prayers, now you must claim as if it's yours already, like you have been already about the problem. Now you claim the solution. Now you're correcting the problem in the mind, in the deeper mind. So you start to correct the problem through self-talk. So you start to say, divine peace and harmony flows through every cell of my body. I'm revitalized, renewed in the image and likeness of God. I am healthy and well. I'm perfect and whole. Healing is mine now. I am so healthy and well. Now, your body at this point is not used to this sort of information. So because you relax, it's going to start to accept it slightly, but you're going to have to realize it's going to take time and time again, because it's going to fight back. Now, some people, and what a lot of people don't tell you, sometimes along the journey, because of this fighting back of the ego or the old self, some of your symptoms, some of your issues may increase or become more noticeable. That's not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that the energy's moving. You're actually going to start to take it as, wow, here we are. I've got something special here now. Okay, I'm starting to change. So even if it starts to get slightly worse at first, you hold true. Now give yourself 6, 8 weeks, 12 weeks of doing this on a religious way. You know, like you do it like it's the most important part of your life. That's another step that you have to remember. Just say to yourself, I've had enough of feeling this way and I want to change that. Don't do it to force yourself to train your mind to heal. Just say, I want to feel different. I don't care if anything changes. I'm just going to apply this to myself for a good few weeks and I'm going to see what happens from there. So my friends, from there, we start to do it daily. Now what you have to do is, it's not about meditating 4 hours a day. It's about being aware and correcting that energy each time. So it comes up. Now you may be at work, you may be driving, you may not be in a place where you can correct it, but you stay aware of it until you find that space. You go into the space of freedom and then you start to claim it again. Do this again and again and again. Within 12 weeks, you're going to train your brain to heal your body. I hope that makes sense, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to see you at the next one.